I love what I do, which is just as well because I've been doing it pretty much every day for about a decade now. But there is one small problem. Every time I find something new that I enjoy, I pretty soon turn it into content, which means I simultaneously have loads of hobbies and do loads of fun things, but also don't really have any moments when I'm not working. And it wasn't always this way, but it did become like this fairly quickly. YouTube itself originally started as a hobby. In fact, it wasn't even the first attempt at this kind of content creation that I went through. I talk about how I've been doing YouTube for about 10 years. It's not strictly true. My very first YouTube video was actually uploaded about 15 years ago and was a companion video for a podcast that I was doing at the time. Before podcasting, I tried blogging, I wrote books. I'd been basically trying to make content creation and probably more specifically self-employment my thing pretty much my entire life. So although YouTube started as a hobby and it was always something I really enjoy and still really enjoy, it didn't stay that way for very long. And very quickly after I started, I did start treating it as a part-time job, then a full-time job. It was work. It was always work, even before it was making me any money. It started out with gaming, with the Football Manager channel, but within a year, we'd added in what became this channel. Originally started as a channel called Never Too Old, where I was doing a lot of similar stuff to what I'm now doing on Block Party 10 years later, but rather than it being Lego focused, it was more general toy focused. But that then turned into a vlog, which turned into a family vlog, which turned into a travel vlog, which briefly became all about Pokemon cards, switched back to being a travel vlog again, and is now this, whatever this is. But Lego, got massively back into Lego over the last year or two, and obviously first reaction, start a Lego channel. Even non-Football Manager games that you would think I must be playing for fun, I host a gaming podcast. So even them, when I'm sat there on the bed playing on my Switch or playing on my Steam Deck, I am still thinking, well, what am I going to say about this on the podcast? Is this something that I could maybe stream on Twitch? And obviously, because travel has always been integrated within it as well, even our holidays become work. When I made the video a week or two back about how much money we'd lost through Football Manager being cancelled, one of the more recurring snarky comments was, well, how many holidays have you been on? Stop going on all your holidays. I'm like, well, actually, I've not had a holiday in about 15 years, because when we went to Disneyland, we made like 4 videos. The trip was planned around content. We had a schedule. The same with our cruise. That was all about the content that we made when we were on the cruise. You look back to, what trips did we go on last year? We went to Forest Holidays, we went to Centre Parks. They were videos, video series, some of them. We had our trip to Lanzarote, and yeah, we didn't work every minute of every day in Lanzarote. I think we made like 5 or 6 videos from a 10-day trip where we were in Lanzarote. Some of those videos did span multiple days though. And yeah, I obviously had my moments where I was sat at the pool reading a book or playing Balatro on my Switch, but I was still making content every day. I was still uploading TikToks. I was still checking my YouTube comments on the videos that I'd scheduled to come out while I was away. So I haven't had a day when I've not worked for many, many, many years. Even like Christmas Day. How many years did we do the Christmas Day present unwrapping videos that I would then try and get out on Christmas Day? We'd get up early, we'd open all our Christmas presents, and then I'd spend time editing the videos where I could release it on Christmas Day. And don't get me wrong, I've loved every minute of it. It is awesome. But it does mean that work-life balance is not something that I'm familiar with, because there is work and there is sleep. And that's pretty much it. But yes, work is fun. But it does present you with the whole, probably not everything I do in my life should be on a schedule, should be part of a plan. And that is a difficult thing for me to do, because as an autistic person, my instinct is to schedule everything, to set up routines. I thrive on a to-do list. I thrive with a plan. And on those rare occasions that do happen from time to time where I don't have anything to do, I drive Anna insane because I don't know what to do with myself. I don't have anything that I can just kind of pick up and do as a free time relaxation activity. And it's not that I resent everything being work. Like I say, I enjoy it, but it does mean I also can't switch off from it. So when I'm having a particularly busy time, or I've got a particularly big or challenging project on the go, it does mean that my sleep will suffer. I miss exercise, I'll miss meals, because I become so hyper focused on what I'm doing. And I think there probably are times where I would benefit from just sitting next to a pool for a day and not thinking about what's going on Twitter, what's going on TikTok, what's going on my YouTube comments, not replying to emails, not thinking about the videos I can make later in the day or when I get home. And as much as I know intellectually that would be an ideal scenario, it's not something I've ever been able to achieve or ever expect to be able to achieve. I think I'm probably going to be this way for the rest of my life. And I've touched a little bit on why it happens. A lot of it is because of my autistic traits and the fact that I've built this lifestyle, this business around my needs as an autistic person, which means I get a lot of the advantages of it, but it does kind of take over and monopolize the thoughts and the days a little bit. And obviously, as a self-employed person, I naturally have that self-employed mindset as well, where everything has value if it can be monetized. And you almost, and I think self-employed people will probably relate, you almost feel guilty if you're not working because A, you're leaving money on the table and no one likes to do that. But B, I know if I have a rest now, in order to earn that rest, I've either had to do twice as much work before the rest, or I'm going to have to do twice as much work after the rest. The things that need to be done don't go away just because I decide to not do them for a day. And of course, it is kind of part of modern internet culture, social media. Whenever content creators are asked the question about, oh, well, how do you get into doing what you do? I'd love to do your job. How do I get started? The most common answer is make content about what you love. It's what we're kind of trained into. This is the way to do it. If you make content about what you love, your content will be better, and it is. And if you love your work, you'll never work a day in your life, etc., etc. And it is encouraged until it isn't healthy, until something breaks, until you hit burnout, until you get to that point where you just can't do it anymore and everything starts to collapse and crumble around you. And luckily for me, touch wood, I've never experienced that. And I hope I never do, but I am aware that it's something that nobody is immune to and it could strike at any time. And I've just been very lucky that I've been able to have a 10-year straight run of basically working all day, every day. And yes, I know I'm not exactly bricklaying, am I? But I am working all day, every day, albeit at something I enjoy doing. And at some point you would think something's got to give. I'm aware that it might happen. And it's probably one of my biggest fears because I don't know what we'd do if it did happen. If I had to take a month off for health reasons, that would be a big problem, both in terms of making money in the short term, which is less of a problem. We do have like emergency money to cover for that kind of thing. But the impact that it has on the business long term, if you miss a month of content, it takes a lot longer. That you can't just come back after a month and pick up where you left off because you have to retrain the algorithms. You need to get everything back up to speed again. If I take a month off, it's going to have serious ramifications for a year. And there's no guarantee you ever get back to where you were before or you ever make up that lost time. And it's a worry. It's a big worry because, you know, I've got high blood pressure. I'm an overweight man. I'm now hurtling towards my mid-40s in a family that has history of strokes and heart attacks and cancer. And it's like, there could come a point before I hit normal retirement age where I might not be able to work all day, every day. What do I do then? What do I do with myself? What do I do for fun? My work is my fun. And that kind of leads into where I was planning on going next by talking about some of the downsides. I mean, I have got some notes in front of me. Note number one was there is no downtime. Like right now I'm recording this, it's 7:45 on a Thursday evening. I could, I guess, sit and play a video game, but I know this needs to be done and I'll feel a lot better once it's been done. But then once I've finished recording it, I'm going to edit it and then I may as well upload it. I may as well make the thumbnail. Before I know it, it's 10 o'clock and I'm ready to go to bed. So I won't have had downtime this evening. It does mean that I don't have to do it tomorrow now, but that just means I'll fill it with something else. There is no real downtime, no real time off. Like I say, even Christmas Day, even holidays, I'm always thinking of content. Even if I'm not actively talking into a camera, I'm always thinking. And it does mean that everything kind of feels like a task or an opportunity that I either capitalize on or I miss. It makes everything seem much more important than it actually is. Because if Anna asked me to come and watch a TV show with her now or said, let's go for a walk or something like that, I wouldn't want to just drop this partway through. And I realize I could because I'm not releasing the video today. It doesn't have to be made today, but because it's work And because I've now started it, because I had nothing else to do, I'm kind of like, well, I'm giving it an artificial importance that it doesn't really have. And I'd be distracted. I wouldn't enjoy doing something else. I would be distracted. I'd want to get back to doing this. And it's like I say, it's not a healthy situation to be in. And there's the constant ticking clock of what if burnout comes? What is burnout like? There's every chance I've experienced it in my own little way. There've been times when I've been more energetic than others. There've been times where it's been harder to bounce out of bed when the alarm has gone off in the morning. There've been times when I've not really wanted to sit there and stream in an evening. But I always just kind of, and I guess it comes from all the experience that I have from masking. Again, as an autistic person, I am a master masker. I can just turn the camera on, get into character, and pretend the rest of that stuff's not there and just kind of ignore it, which, again, this is becoming therapy now. That's probably not, just shove the feelings down. If you don't feel them, they're not there. Get on with your work. And it does mean that sometimes hobbies that I was really, really enjoying, I do kind of, I wouldn't say burn out, but maybe burn through them. Pokemon cards is a fantastic example. I was super into that a few years ago, but over the last year or so, I've basically sold off most of the collection. Most of the sealed collection is gone, so that I could pour the money into Lego instead. You look around the office behind me, there's no Funko Pops in here anymore. How obsessed was I with them? There was a time when I was buying every new release wrestling figure that came out and was really into them. And there's no wrestling figures in here now. I get so into something and make it so ingrained into my day-to-day life that unless it's something that really does catch, like Football Manager, I mean, there are a few things that have caught like that and I've held on, and goodness me, do I hope Lego is one of them, because we've built a whole business around that. But there's always the danger that I'll just one day wake up and be like, you know what, I'm just not feeling this anymore, and I'll find a new hobby and a new way to monetize something else. And I've turned something that was fun into work, and it's stopped being fun as a result. And that has happened with a few things over the years, and it's something I'm in danger of doing with Lego to Anna. She already doesn't really enjoy coming to the Lego store with me. She doesn't really enjoy coming to Lego conventions with me because I make them about work. And like when we went to Disneyland Paris and I did the Lego store video there, Anna was sat outside the Rainforest Cafe for 45 minutes while I was in there making a video. And then when we got back to the hotel that night, Anna went to bed while I sat there and edited and uploaded the video from our hotel in Disneyland. So I realized this isn't a healthy way for an adult man to behave. And I've got to be very careful with this video because I don't want it to seem like I'm whinging or complaining, because I'm not. I fully acknowledge how lucky I am that I get to wake up in the morning and effectively do all of my favorite, most fun things. And I don't have to go and get in a commute. I don't have to have anyone tell me what to do. I don't even have to do certain things on certain days, or, you know, I could, today, for example, I've recorded 4 Football Manager videos today. So I don't have to make another Football Manager video for like 4 days now. So tomorrow I'll perhaps do some Lego if I feel like doing some Lego, or I might record next week's one of these videos if I feel like doing that instead. I might go to the Lego City. I might do something else entirely. I might, you know, there's all manner of things that I could do. I could batch record some TikToks, and all of these things are things that I find fun, and I can do them whenever I want, and I get paid for it. And I get paid more for this than I got paid as a teacher. I'm very lucky. It's given me an incredible amount of freedom and success. But even with that being said, I think it is okay to admit that it is exhausting. And I do occasionally find myself craving a hobby that I could just do for fun. I think that's a valid way to feel. I don't know what the hobby could be, and I don't know how I find the time for it and amongst all my other stuff. And I also don't know how disciplined I would be that if I did get into a new hobby, how long would it be until it's featuring in these videos? How long would it be until it's appearing on TikTok? And I'm like, oh, there's an event for it. Let's go there. Well, I may as well vlog while I'm there. And before I know it, it's a pillar of the channels, which is exactly what happened with Lego and so many other things before it. So I think for as long as I am doing this job, and I fully intend to do this job for as long as I can, for as long as people will watch me doing it, I think for as long as I'm doing this, the idea of me having anything that's just for fun is probably not realistic. Okay for me to just accept, or do I need to find a way to maybe carve out some Kev time? Would be interested in hearing your thoughts down in the comments section, especially if you're like me and you're someone who turns every thought or hobby or idea into a side hustle or a project or a big, much more complicated thing than it needs to be. We need to connect down in that comment section. Let me know. Have you ever fallen into what I'm going to refer to as the hobby trap? Thanks for watching, folks. And I will, am I going to start signing off these videos as I'll see you next Tuesday? Because that's when the next video is going to be. It might be time. That might be how we end the Friday videos from now on.